Welcome to the New Africa, the channel that's changing how the world sees Africa. From groundbreaking mega projects to untold success stories, from vibrant cultures to bold innovations, this is the Africa they don't show you on the news. The New Africa, in changing the narration. Subscribe and be part of the movement rewriting Africa's story, with pride, power, and purpose. Today, we take you into the heart of Nigeria to explore a project that is not just reshaping Africa's economy, it's shaking the world. This is the story of the Dangote Oil Refinery, the largest of its kind on the continent, and a symbol of Africa rising. When you hear the name Aliko Dangote, don't just think of wealth, think of vision. Think of someone who dared to reshape the future of a continent. Born in Kano, Nigeria, Dangote started in 1977 with a modest trading firm. Today he is not only Africa's richest man, he is one of its boldest builders. From cement and sugar to fertilizer and oil, the Dangote Group operates across over 17 African countries, transforming industries and touching millions of lives. His companies are more than businesses, they are engines of development, building Africa from the ground up. While others export raw materials, Dangote invests in local value creation, turning Africa's resources into African wealth. His empire produces the cement for our skylines, the fertilizer for our farms, and now, the fuel for our industries. He is a true Pan-Africanist, not just in words, but in action. Every factory, every job, every scholarship reflects a deep belief. Africa must rise by investing in itself. With over 30,000 direct jobs created and thousands more indirectly supported, his vision reaches far beyond profit. It's about sovereignty, self-reliance, and continental pride. So, when we talk about the Dangote Refinery, we're not just discussing a Nigerian project, we're witnessing the awakening of African industrial power. And Dangote, he's not just building companies, he's building Africa's future. But Dangote isn't just building factories, he's building minds. Across his companies, African students pursuing masters and PhDs gain access to real-world industrial laboratories. His industries have partnered with universities to offer technical internships, thesis collaborations, and mentorship programs. Dangote also funds scholarships for disadvantaged students, particularly in host communities. For instance, in Ibeju-Lekki, 460 students receive scholarships, including 443 secondary school students and 17 tertiary institution students. This is how we build a new Africa, by making industry a classroom. Here's the irony. Nigeria is one of the top oil producers in the world, yet it imported over 90% of its fuel for decades. Why? Because of a lack of refining capacity. In 2024, Nigeria's petrol imports surged, hitting a record 15.42 trillion Nigerian naira, highlighting the country's persistent reliance on imported fuel. Dangote saw this gap and decided to do something no one else had: build a refinery that could transform the entire sector and reduce billions in import costs. Located in the Lekki Free Trade Zone, Lagos, the refinery spans a staggering 2,635 hectares. That's the size of 7,000 football fields. It features a 650,000 barrels per day capacity, deep seaport access, world's longest subsea pipeline infrastructure at 1,100 kilometers, 4.7 billion liters of storage tanks, a 435 megawatt power plant that can meet the total power requirement of Ibadan Disco. This isn't just a refinery, it's an industrial city. Over 30,000 workers, including 6,400 Indians and 3,250 Chinese, were involved in its construction. Global companies like Saipem and Julius Berger joined forces to design and build everything from scratch. Local content laws ensured many workers and materials were sourced from Nigeria. This was not just a project, it was a nation-building effort. When fully operational, the refinery will produce 50 million liters of petrol per day, 15 million liters of diesel per day, aviation fuel, kerosene, and propylene for plastics and chemicals. It will meet 100% of Nigeria's requirement of all refined products, with surplus for export. Every year, Nigeria spent billions importing fuel, bleeding its economy. In 2024 alone, petrol imports surged to 15.42 trillion Nigerian naira. Now, with Dangote's refinery, that money stays within Africa. The impact includes lower fuel costs, job creation, trade balance improvement, forex savings, and African countries relying on local supply. This is how we reclaim economic sovereignty. Africa consumes around 4 million barrels per day of oil. Dangote's refinery alone contributes 650,000 barrels per day. That's 16% of the continent's need. It's not just about meeting Nigeria's needs, it's a continental contribution. Countries like Ghana, Togo, and Cameroon will now have access to locally refined African fuel. The refinery is supported by a private jetty storage tank farms and shipping terminals. Crude arrives through subsea pipelines and refined products leave by sea road and eventually rail. This makes distribution more efficient and prices more stable. For decades, Europe refined oil and shipped it to Africa. Now, with African capacity rising, Europe's demand is declining. Some European refineries are now at risk of closure, proving that African self-reliance can shift global economics. This is the Africa we need to talk about. The Africa that builds, innovates, and leads. At the New Africa, we're not just showcasing progress. We're rewriting the global perception of our continent. Projects like the Dangote Refinery are more than news. They're milestones of transformation. So, what can you do to support this movement? Subscribe to The New Africa for more powerful stories like this. Share this video with others who believe in Africa's transformation. Drop a comment. What other game-changing African projects should we cover next? This is The New Africa. And together, we're not just telling stories. We're changing the narration. This is The New Africa, in changing the narration. If you believe in the power of truth and transformation, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, keep celebrating the Africa that builds, leads, and inspires.